How many of you find that there are too little pregnancy-related content, especially for moms in Singapore? And how many of you find it too confusing with all the advice from friends, family, and online? Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Kelly, and together we are newly minted parents.
Woohoo! Okay, our baby girl is 1 month old, right? And you know what? We were actually ex-MOE teachers and we were teaching science. So, you know, what we like about this whole journey, right, is that we want it to be science-based. We don't want it to be hearsay, is that a lot of people will tell you their preferences, they'll advise you tips and everything. But what I found out, right, is preference is not equals to advice. Advice may not even be scientific recommendations, right?
So that's why we wanted to start this channel to address some of these misconceptions. So welcome to Overshare.
Ooh, we will just share everything we know.
Yeah, we'll overshare, so stay tuned for the ride. But this really came up because when I was pregnant, I wanted to research on pregnancy and address some of the issues I was facing. But I realized there was very little motherhood content in Singapore.
Yeah, a lot of it is like related to the Caucasian families, right? There's a lot of overseas Western sharing. Right?
Yeah, also there are a lot of old wives' tales. They were contradicting each other, some of them, and some of them are not scientifically based as well. So we aim to share science-based approach, and we also aim to document our journey here together. Now our baby is 1 month old. We have still a long way to go. And hopefully we can help educate others and inspire other people embarking on this journey as well.
Yeah, so stay tuned to this channel, right? Because what you're going to get, right, is of course our experience so far, what works, what doesn't, and of course we're going to share you what's good, what's not, or even some product recommendations. And trust us, we only share things that are useful and really we tried it, it works for us. Those that are like fluff, then forget it.
Also subscribe to us and follow our social media, and we are going to move ahead to our first episode.
Yay! Now for our very first episode, we want to know, can we even be parents? We want to go right all the way back to the journey right at the start, right? To say that, okay, can we even be parents? Do you even need to plan to be parents?
Because parenthood is a very scary journey, we also wonder how our parents did it. So when you're going to embark on the journey, right, how do you know whether you're ready?
There is no criteria to say whether you are ready or not. Alright, and in terms of like fertility, what I understand back then is like, we used to be students, right? So the kids can get pregnant even in the staircase. So one shot, one kill, it's a very dangerous thing. Once you shoot, that's it.
Yeah, so in order for you to be parents, I think the mindset is very important for you and your spouse. It's definitely important for you all to sit down, talk, and like discuss about it first.
Yeah, I think the first thing you need to discuss is like how much of the couple time you want to have. So for us, I think we have like our honeymoon couple time for what? About 2 years, right? Yeah. So some people think 2 years is fine. Some people say enjoy first. I think there's no right or wrong, right? What do you think?
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. You want to have 1 year of honeymoon or even 5 years is fine as well.
Yeah.
Do remember that women have a biological clock lah.
Okay, so what's the biological clock?
I think after 35 years of age, right, the pregnancy, the risk is higher lah.
Yeah, so this part is I think scientifically proven. So the risk of your kid having a Down syndrome is very related to the mother's age when she is pregnant, right? So what's the magical number? 30 or 35?
We are hoping, for me, I'm hoping to conceive before 35. So that's the magical window for me.
Correct. So anything like above 35 or 40 is actually considered risky. I think one more thing is that when the kid gets older, you also become older, right? So you want to know, do you have energy to take care of a kid? Like, if the kid going to run around, then what are you going to do? You're going to like limp behind because you got no energy to run. Like, I think it takes a lot of energy and effort, right, to even wake up in the night with the kid, that kind of thing, plan a lot of stuff, schooling, whatever. So this is all going to sap your energy, right?
Yeah, important to have that discussion first. So that is point number 1.
Alright, moving on. Suitability. Right, so one more thing is like, am I even suitable to be a parent? Because right, I tell you my concept right at the start is that I feel that kids are liability. Like my life is very perfect already. Like, I mean, I'm happy with what I have now. Honeymoon is good, right?
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. Wow, I pack my bag, I can go overseas straight away already. I want to go to this place, I can go right now. I just drive my car. A lot of parents tell you your timetable, your schedule, right, will now revolve around the kid. So it's a liability. I mean, like, you have to feed somebody, and you know the kid.
And you spend money a lot of money on the kid.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, I at first I really not confident of being a good parent. So what are your thoughts? Are yours the same as mine?
Yeah, I definitely think for suitability, we also need to talk about finances. We also need to talk about whether you have the mental headspace and space in the house. So these are all considerations that you have to think about before you even think about having a kid. So for me, initially, I really like kids, but I'm not sure whether I will be a good parent to a kid. I like to play with my friends' kids, but my own kid, I'm not very sure.
This is something I notice a lot of ladies. They like to play with kids. Playing with kids is really fun. I mean, like 2 hours like that, very fun. Then after that, you just pass back to your parent already. Then none of the problem already.
Yeah. So most importantly is really assess your suitability, whether you are even ready to have a kid.
Share with you a cold hard truth, right? Is that being ex-MOE teachers, we have come across a lot of broken families, a lot of families with issues. So when the kids come to us, we really try to manage their family issues to a certain extent. There's only so much we can do, right? But they tell us of a lot of horror stories that are happening at home, what kind of struggles they are facing. So there's actually a cold hard truth saying is that
not every parent deserves a kid, but every kid deserves a good parent.
Yeah. So you see, there's a lot of times the kids come with us a lot of problems, but it's none of their fault.
Yeah.
It's all the whatever problems they're having as in the family, what gambling, smoking,
drinking, absenteeism.
The parents absent, right? And then sometimes the parents say, oh, I'm very busy with work. Yeah, I've seen such parents, financially they look okay, right? They drive a good car, that kind of thing, but then, the kid just suffers.
And then the kid eventually will have issues down the road as well.
Yeah, so academically issues, social issues,
behavioral.
Can't bond with friends, or like for some reason resort to crime where there's no need for crime, petty theft, that kind of stuff. Yeah, a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, I think it's most important to take note of this phrase. It takes a village to raise a child, right? Ensure that you have a support system that is surrounding the child. Maybe it be friends or family, or even infant care as well if you cannot find any enough support. So having the financial stability is important, and also enough space in the house.
It's not to say that single parent cannot be. Single working parent cannot be parents, right? There are definitely parents who make it happen because there's only one income, right? Of course, then again, this is also not to say that your house too small, then you cannot have a kid. We actually have seen kids in a one-bedroom condo before, right? So the kid is actually in the bedroom, but sometimes it's in the living room because there's only just one bedroom. These are situations where it's not the most optimum situation, but there are also better situations that can happen, right? So one thing we realize is that if you are close to your parents, that will be a great help.
But this is all based on your circumstances. Don't need to purposely shift just for it. But if it's near you, then it's good. Okay, moving on to the third point. So we need to work on ourselves first, right? As mentioned for the suitability point. So how do we work on ourselves?
Okay, so coming back to my mindset, right, of like kids being a liability. If you ask me today, it is still an extra chore. To be very honest, it's still an extra chore. To me, it's like exercise, right? So like your life is perfect without exercise, actually, right? To some people, exercise is a chore. It makes them stressed. It makes them feel pain, right? Like, why should I even exercise when I'm like happy doing everything that I can do, right? But of course, people exercise for various reasons. Can be like fitness, can be like lose weight, can be like health reasons, whatever. So at the end of the day, when it comes to kids, it's really finding your reason. Because it's really an extra chore. There must be an extra reason, extra why you want to do it. And I think the why is different from everyone, right? Do you actually have a why?
Time I was cruising in life, I have a good career, good family, good spouse, and we have the freedom to go travel, and we have a very comfortable life. So for me, I always was very curious about my purpose in life, and I thought motherhood is one of the things I want to achieve in this lifetime. Yeah, so you have to really dig down and question yourself, what is the purpose that you want coming out from this discussion with your spouse about parenthood. So what did we do to further enhance the discussion?
Okay, so we of course spoke with many of our friends who are actually parents, those friends around the same age, right? So we learned about their experiences, okay, we get ourselves mentally ready. We also went for some self-development courses. So I think there's a lot of things that you can do with money. Money cannot buy you knowledge unless you go out purposely seeking for it. Alright, so what we did was we went for some self-development course. And these courses, right, help us to find the why, help us to find the purpose of like why we should even be parents. Yeah, and realize a lot of issues that may pop up down the road, because when we attended these courses, we came across broken families, we came across divorcees, and we realized that these are paths that, you know, people are trying to correct their path, that people are trying to correct their mistakes. And for us, we haven't reached there yet, but all the more, we want to avoid such mistakes.
Yes.
We want to avoid these wrong paths that people have taken. And these courses really give us a lot of enlightenment, and then found our purpose and find our why. We just get closer to it.
Yeah. I mean, there's also a lot of counseling opportunities out there. We have done our research and we realized that there's parenthood counseling provided by the government even. So I think these are great resources that you can tap into if you're unsure of how to kickstart this discussion with your spouse and your family. Self-development, I feel that it's very important because sometimes we carry with us some burden, right? Intergenerational trauma and all that. And we also some of us come from broken families and we don't want to repeat that, but how do we avoid that? So these courses or counseling sessions are quite important for us to shed all these like burden and like look at parenthood from a fresh perspective.
Yeah. Actually, can you expand a bit of the intergenerational trauma? Because you pointed out broken families, right? Is that the only example, or how does it work?
Yeah, it can be broken families. It can be families with like favoritism or like very toxic parenting, very traumatizing kind of childhood that we don't want to bring to the next generation. But we want to learn how to share it in our generation before we become parents. So these self-development courses, right, we see a variety of family dynamics, and some of them do have this toxicity in their family. And when we see it and they hash it out, right, we can learn how to avoid it in our own journey as well. So I think that's quite important to have different perspectives as well.
One thing we saw, right, is that parents who came from broken families, right, when they became parents, they like swear they never want to create a broken family ever in their life because they felt the pain, right? But lo and behold, right, somehow they probably end up being a broken family. I mean, they went gone into relationship issues, and we see that as an intergenerational trauma. Then what actually gone wrong, right? This is something that the courses will talk about.
So remember to always check yourself first, and that will be our tip number 3. Now, tip number 4 is more biological, and that's very important as well. So biologically, are you ready to be a parent? Very straightforward.
Okay, so this one you should know, this is about fertility, right? The first thing. Now, I think very important for guys, you have to put down your ego. Sometimes your sperm is your problem.
Important for both of you and your spouse to get checked.
Yes, I actually know of some friends, right, who don't want to check. Like they spend a lot of money for the wife, okay, going to like Western medicine or Eastern medicine, traditional TCM, that kind of stuff, right? Just don't want to check on the guy. Don't know why, but then they still have no kid, right?
Don't worry, I got you covered. I tried both.
Yeah,
we went to Thomson Medical, right? Fertility clinic, and then I also went to a TCM practitioner. So again, they gave us supplements. So the TCM gave me supplements in the form of a herbal drink, and then the Western one also gave me supplements in terms of pills. And then he also got his sperm checked. And then when we are all clear, I think after that we didn't have to go back to the clinic anymore. So it's a very easy check, just 2 to 3 sessions only. Don't need to take super long. So if I recommend, right, I would say just do it.
Now here's the kicker. You may be upsell for IVF. Alright, so what's IVF? IVF is the in vitro fertilization, or whatever, the one that they test tube baby, right? So what happens when you do this kind of fertility test, right? Maybe they will find out some problems, right? Maybe they say, oh, you're not so fertile, maybe the wife or the husband or both, alright? And then what will happen is that they ask you, okay, maybe you want to try natural conception, right? You try naturally. After 1-2 tries, right? It's not so straightforward because like I told you at the start, right? I thought one shot, one kill, but in reality, it is not one shot, one kill, alright? So you might really need like 3, 4, 5 tries, a few months.
They will give you a schedule.
Correct. And then if you're still unable to conceive naturally, that is when they will come to intro you, hey, you want to consider IVF or not? Now, of course, the choice is up to you. If you are like urgent, or if you don't mind giving a try, or you think financially you can afford it, by all means, right? But I think just to be very careful, sometimes you might just need more time, less stress in your life, and you might be able to conceive naturally, then immediately take up their suggestion to do IVF.
or the supplements might work also. So you might just want to wait it out a little bit more. Now, why do they recommend IVF? I suspect it's because they can earn like tens of thousands extra dollars on top of the whole gynecological journey, which is also tens of thousands of dollars.
So basically it's their profit consideration. Because if you just come to them, consult, then they just give you the pill, it's little profit. If you're able to do an IVF journey with them, I think it's a few months of journey, test here, test there, lab here, do this, do that, and then wow, they have lots more to earn.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we are not medical professionals here, so we just are sharing based on our experience. We got upsold IVF, but we waited it out and tried natural, and we managed to be successful. So your journey is your own. If you are urgent, please go ahead. Okay, so with that, the biological is the last point, but we have much more to share, right?
Stay tuned for our second episode, right? We're going to talk about those sacrifices that we have. But in the meantime, if you like this video, share this video with your friends and remember to follow us on our socials.
And also comment below on what you want us to share next so we can have some ideas as well. And we'll see you all in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.